Give me a second here. Somebody's excited today.
I'm just,
Or on the
you
ball.
know,
All right. Welcome everybody to Workaholic Wednesday.
all right. Welcome to sustainability. Today is Workaholic Wednesday. So I don't have a script today, so I'm just going to talk to you. So it's the middle of the week. Where are we so far? Have you done a full review yet on what you've done since Monday? Have you done a full review on the data that you created from the systems you automated that we talked about yesterday? Where are we today? Today, I'm just kind of talking, right? I don't have a script. I'm just going to talk about how I feel. We're going to come up with three things right now about being a workaholic, okay? The first thing is we're going to talk about workflow and time blocking. Then we're going to talk about systems review, like reviewing the things that we're building and see if they work. And then we're going to talk about preparing to close out the week. So the first thing is first. So we're going to talk about our time blocking. So time blocking, right? So okay, every hour of the day counts. There's 24 hours in the day. You know, there's 365 days in a year, 7 days in a week. Every single moment counts of your life. You got to time block it and figure out where you're going to put it in the day. So maybe you start your work day at 9. But what about your personal day? Does that start as soon as you hit the desk at work? Or does that start at 6 a.m. when you work out and you go over your personal goals before you get to that desk? How is your day set up? What are you doing with that time? So if you don't have enough time, you need to create it. You need to find 2 to 4 hours out of your day to work on your project and don't let work or other things that you're doing get in the way of that. So make sure you're writing down, where do I have more time for the things that I don't have time for? All right. All right, so our next thing is about review. So let's go over the things for the week. So Money Mondays, Movement Mondays. We should already know what we've got to follow up on from Friday. We should already have that touch base on Monday. Hopefully it's Wednesday and we've got to close from those follow ups. Tuesday we talked about our tech automations. So what is coming in from that form? Did somebody fill out the form? Is nobody filling the form? Do I need to call them and get them to fill out the form myself? Where are we with the tech automations? Is it profitable? Is it non-functional? How is it working for everybody? So let's really think about, a full review of the systems and then review your personal mental health. Like, how do I feel? Did I get enough exercise this week? Did the team get to connect at all? Should maybe I invite, the team out for beers this Friday because, hey, look, we're going to be in the office probably 10 hours this week instead of 6. Really giving some consideration to where we are and how much you'll be expecting from everyone in your life over the next couple of days. And I always use this time to review and kind of reflect and say, okay, was I even prepared for last weekend? Do I know this week if I'm going to be going out or if I'm going to be staying in? Do I already have my house kind of cleaned up and in order? That way you can step into the weekend with grace and you're not rushing to clean up, rushing to go get groceries and stuff. This is a great time of the week to have a full refrigerator and to have a clean house and to have a fresh desk. If you can clear out your Wednesday work, that means you really probably gonna have a great week next week because a lot of decisions this on today are going to be based on like, hey, let me table this until next week. Hey, let me make a decision now, or hey, they don't want to do it because it's Wednesday. They hopefully everybody you're talking to today already heard from you yesterday, Monday, and Friday. But if they haven't heard from you in between, you're gonna have to keep following up. So today's a great day for closing. So next week, hopefully I remember, but I want to start asking you guys, what are you closing on Wednesdays? What opportunities are coming to kind of a new place on Wednesdays? Let's really review the growth and see where these relationships and where these connections have taken us. All right. And so the last thing we're going to talk about is our I think we talked about time blocking. We're going to talk about review. I don't recall the last thing because we're making it up on the spot, but I guess what we're going to talk about is how to plan out the rest of your week. You know, so on Thursdays, we talk about threading the needle, weaving your network. It's, a fun little play on words. Friday is about fun. So on Wednesday, this is the day where I often will prep all of my event framework. So I often like to do events on a weekend. So tomorrow and Friday, I have a 2 p.m. discovery call where a lot of people are going to be networking and meeting each other through the Trusted Trade Hub. And then Friday, we have the big AI Summer Summit. This is going to be a yearly event that we host. Hopefully, we're able to do it consistently yearly, but this is going to be great. We're already looking at close to about 100 people showing up. We got a lot of sponsors coming out, a lot of local businesses based in Nashville. So start thinking on Wednesday, okay, what have I done so far in terms of the accounts that I'm working, and then where am I going to take those next? I know for a fact that a lot of the accounts that I'm working are people that are going to be at the AI Summer Summit and that are going to be at my call. So I'm already preparing tonight for the conversations that I'm going to have tomorrow with all of the most important people in my circles because I'm going to be interacting with them. And I highly suggest that folks on Wednesdays plan that social calendar out. Yeah, you're a workaholic. Yeah, you got accounts. Yeah, you got reports to write. You got a lot going on a Wednesday, but centering yourself and knowing how the weekend is going to look is really going to be a blessing to you in advance. One thing I'm doing for myself this week is already planning how Saturday and Sunday are going to look. Saturday's a day that's entirely for me this week. I'm going to be having, a ball. I'm going to be having some fun, doing some bin stuff, taking care of a few different things. It's for me, it's not for y'all. I got to keep the Sabbath holy. And then Sunday, I have my golf event. We're going to be doing it from 1 to 4 at Ted Rhodes Course. So you guys come out if you're new, come to the golf range and just hit balls. It's free. If you want to arrange a tee time, call the range ahead of time. Call me and let's schedule a time to really hit the range together and do a 9 hole. But that's 1 to 4 every Sunday recurring. And then you can also come to Ted Rhodes on Tuesdays and you can do their 6 p.m. class with Miss Pat. Then also Thursday, I'll be at the Men of Promises networking group for men over 25. If you're interested in showing up to some of this networking stuff, make sure you reach out to me. But yeah, you guys kind of see how my week works. Go and implement that for yourself. Might have changed it from the beginning, but we're talking about time blocking, systems review, and then planning out the rest of the week and planning in advance. I had to rewind this, and it's kind of funny. Like I'm just making up on the spot, but take what you can from this one and make sure that you're giving yourself a realistic view of where you are and where you're headed. If you're a sustainability founder or an entrepreneur who's at scaling your business, I really want to hear your voice. So please give me a call at 615-821-9662. My website is arieljudah.com. And then you can also join me on my other podcast called Building Trust through the Trusted Trade Hub Network. Please reach out anytime, 615-821-9662, arieljudah.com. This is sustained ability. And remember, what's fun gets done.